Hello, crafty friends, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well and feeling inspired to get crafty today. I've got something fun lined up for you. I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful layered card using a variety of die cuts. I'm talking about basic border dies, strip dies, word dies, and more. So, if you're looking to try something creative and new, grab your supplies and let's get started. Now, the first thing I want to do is create a base for my design using some masking paper. This is a low-tack sticky paper that will hold everything in place but won't damage your project when you peel it off. I've got a piece here, and I'm sticking it down onto a scrap piece of cardstock to prevent it from slipping around as I work on it. The sticky side is facing up, and then I just took a pencil and drew a straight line across the masking paper. This will help me align my dies symmetrically as I work on the design. Next, I'm going to start with my border dies. I've chosen a couple of different styles, a scalloped border die and a zigzag border die. I want the scallops to line up with the points of the zigzags so they create a nice, neat, and symmetrical pattern across the card. I place the dies on the masking paper and tape them down lightly with washi tape to keep everything in place while I run it through the die cutting machine. This is an important step to ensure that the borders align just the way I want them to. Once everything is cut, I'll be ready to move on to the next step. For the next layer, I've selected some beautiful pink cardstock. I'm using solid colors for most of it, but I wanted to add a bit of texture to one of the pieces. To do that, I'm going to stamp a grungy linen pattern on a piece of peachy pink cardstock using saltwater taffy distress oxide ink. This ink is such a pretty, soft color, and it's perfect for creating a tone-on-tone effect. After I'm done stamping, I'm going to run all my cardstock pieces through the die-cutting machine with the same border dies that I used earlier. This will give me all my cut pieces ready to assemble. Once everything is die-cut, I'm going to start assembling the card. For this, I'm using double-sided adhesive sheets. I've laid one of these adhesive sheets down on a piece of copy paper, and now I'm going to peel off the release paper and start sticking down the pieces of cardstock. I alternate between the light pink and dark pink cardstock, matching up the scalloped edges as I go along. The key here is to be precise with the placement of each strip to keep the design symmetrical and balanced. As you can see, I am making sure the larger scallops are at the top of the light pink strips and the smaller ones are at the bottom of the dark pink strips. It's all about creating a neat pattern that looks intentional. With the borders in place, it's time to bring in the focal point of my card, the heart. I'm going to take a large heart die and carefully place it over the top of the cardstock. I want the heart to be centered and symmetrical, so I line it up carefully and tape it down with a tiny bit of low-tack washi tape to avoid any paper tearing. Once everything is positioned just right, I run it through the die-cutting machine. Along with the heart, I'm also going to cut out the word "thank you" from the center of the heart using a sentiment die. This will add a personal touch to my card and make it perfect for a variety of occasions. Now that the heart and sentiment are cut, it's time to add some sparkle. I've chosen a beautiful gold glitter cardstock for the next step. I cut out two different types of strips, one with a scalloped edge and one with a straight edge. I'm going to glue these down around the edges of the heart. To make sure they stay in place while the glue is drying, I'm using a strong adhesive and a glue daughter to prevent them from shifting around. Once everything is glued down, I'll trim off any excess strips that overhang the edges. To make the heart pop even more, I'm going to add a little bit of dimension. I've die cut a smaller heart from double-sided foam adhesive, and will stick this behind the larger heart. This gives the card a nice 3D effect, which helps make the design feel more dynamic and interesting. Now I'm going to adhere the whole heart piece onto my card base. The card base I'm using is 4 par 6 inches, but if you prefer a larger or smaller card, you can definitely adjust the size. The beauty of this technique is that it works on any size card, so feel free to experiment and make it your own. At this point, I decided to add a little more texture and visual interest to my card. I went back to my gold glitter cardstock and die cut a few small glitter circles. These will help bring some of that sparkle up into the heart and create a sense of movement on the card. I placed the glitter circles in a diagonal pattern, which adds energy and flow to the overall design. You'll notice that it draws your eye across the card, making the whole piece feel more balanced and complete. Now let me be totally transparent with you. This heart design wasn't entirely my own idea. I was inspired by a new release from Pretty Pink Posh, who has a fantastic die set that creates a heart shape from various pieces of paper with different edges. It looks amazing, but rather than purchasing the new die set, I decided to use what I already had in my stash. I grabbed my border dies, strip dies, and sentiment dies and recreated a similar look without spending any extra money. It's a great way to get creative with the supplies you already own. Speaking of using what you already have, I want to encourage you to look through your stash before rushing out to buy the latest releases. You might be surprised at what you can create with what you've already got. For example, this heart design could be easily adapted to other shapes: stars, squares, circles, you name it. So next time you see a new die set, you just have to try to see if you can recreate something similar using your existing supplies. Before I wrap up this video, I want to show you a couple of additional card ideas that I made using the same technique. Here's one that I created in a landscape orientation. For this card, I used a vellum die cut for the word hello, and I added scalloped gold glitter strips above and below the sentiment to frame it. I also used the same small glitter circles to give the card a little extra sparkle. This card has a more elegant, minimalistic feel to it. And here's the final card I made, which is square, measuring about 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. I wanted to give the heart a little more breathing room, so I went for a larger format. I used the same scalloped gold glitter strips, one above and one below the sentiment, and then added the word love in glittery gold to really make it stand out. This one has a nice Valentine's Day vibe, thanks to those gold glitter accents and the cute diagonal layout of the glitter circles. So there you have it. 3 beautiful cards that all started with the same basic technique. I hope this video has given you some inspiration and ideas for your next craft project. Remember, crafting is all about creativity, and sometimes the best results come from using what you already have in your stash. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and subscribe to my channel for more crafty fun. I can't wait to share more ideas with you all soon. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy crafting. Bye for now.